I remember going out on the porch and snakes would be out there on the porch.
Don't you remember the powder from that asbestos just covering your hair and stuff? Like it'd be all in your hair. You remember them Polish cannon things?
Yes.
Yes.
With the cans and then later.
Put on your helmets and buckle your chin straps for the wildest podcast held in the Steel City. Dubs and Chickenhawk will give you a taste of the past in fried jumbo.
Okay, hey, Chickenhawk. We are blessed.
How you doing, Dubby?
Blessed and honored to have O.I.G. Mike Licks Llewellyn here with us for fried jumbo. Now, what does O.I.G. mean? What do you think? Original Irwin Gangster.
Yeah, he is.
That's it, baby.
He's part of the main team
He's
for
part
sure.
of the main team. Him and his three brothers grew up on Walnut Street, just a stone's throw from the Irwin Playground, which is our sign right there. So he was sort of like the dean of the Irwin Playground staff and professorship down there, right? Him and Diggs and many others. So we're glad to have you here, Michael.
Glad to be here.
How you been, bud?
Good. How about yourself?
Oh, you know, living a dream. I get to sit next to Chickenhawk once or twice a week.
How could life be any better?
Oh, I'm telling you.
We're going to have a hell of a good time.
Yeah. Talk about the good old times.
Good old times, that's right.
Yeah.
So as we typically do, we start every one of these little sessions. A very simple question. Did you ever eat fried jumbo?
Yes, we did. It was,
In your household?
Yes, growing up we did.
I do remember you guys also had, what do you call that stuff with the chipped ham and like barbecue sauce? Ham barbecue.
I still make it. My mother still makes it.
It's awesome.
Had me get buns this morning.
Really?
I know when I go back, she's going to make it for the kids. And I still make it down in Virginia.
You put American cheese on it or cheddar or whatever?
No, you don't put
nothing.
Just chipped ham. I go to Giant Eagle. There's one in Frederick, Maryland.
Oh,
There is a Giant Eagle there?
There's a Giant Eagle.
Okay.
I go and ask them for chipped ham and slice it thin. And then they have the jars of the barbecue sauce.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's the thing. It was always ham barbecue or fried jumbo.
That was it, man.
For lunch. I mean, I remember your house. I was there so much that it was more, I think, ham barbecue than fried jumbo, but a little bit of both. Yeah.
We also had the block cheese.
Oh yeah, buddy.
The welfare cheese.
Right.
Which was good cheese.
It was great stuff.
I don't know if there's ever been a cheese any better than that.
No. I met one person who said it was terrible. I'm like, you may be the only person in America that thought that was terrible cheese.
No,
it was good stuff.
It's the best.
One of the good things our government did for us.
Yeah. You know, we did a study on this, Mike, and they had at one time 600 million pounds of that government cheese stored at different sites across the country.
Yeah.
And then what they started to do is, it costs more to keep the cheese in these facilities than it did to actually give it to the people.
Yeah.
So they started really driving it home in the 70s and 80s when we were growing up.
Right.
They started giving it to food banks and things like that.
Right.
And people that needed some assistance, like we did,
Everybody did.
We got the opportunity to get that cheese. A ton of it here in Pittsburgh because all the mills went down.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's good stuff.
So we always like to tell the folks, we know where you're from and stuff, but where were you born and raised and spent most of your time? I know you guys moved around a lot early in your life, but then you settled in Irwin later. But why don't you tell us a little bit about your background on that side of things?
Okay. So I was, believe it or not, born in Queens, New York.
Queens?
Yeah, I think I remember. Queens, New York.
No wonder you spent so much time up at Scores. No. We'll cut that out.
Why is that? Are your parents both from there?
My father was. My father was from New York. My mother, when she got out of high school, went in the airline industry. So she was stationed up in New York, met my father, fell in love, had me, and then they moved back after me to live with my grandparents on Barnes Lake Road.
Yeah.
I've been there.
And then that's where Billy was born. And then I went through this morning with my mom, like, Mom, where did we live growing up? And she gave me a list, and it's like a long list here. Like, we went from my grandparents' place to Level Green,
Wow.
to Sunset Valley. That's where
Really?
BK was born. Harrison City, right over where Bobby and Nancy's place is.
Yeah.
That house right there
On the road.
right there.
Yeah, that one
We
right
lived
there. Wow.
I hunt right behind there.
Yeah, you do.
I actually do. I hunt up on that hill behind
You're like
there.
100 yards away, if that.
Yeah, like right behind. I mean, dead behind that house is I
Isn't
still
that
hunt on
something?
tree.
You
right
lived there.
I remember. Yep, I remember going out on the porch and snakes would be out there on the porch. Yeah, big snakes.
Big jump from Queens.
And then we moved to Hempfield. We lived over the Hempfield Apartments.
Yes.
Wow.
And then moved to North Irwin.
Wow.
Then to Arizona. For a short period
Arizona.
of time. Yep,
Yeah,
we
that-
moved to Arizona. And then when we moved back, we moved to Irwin.
Yeah.
And then
Why
that's-
Arizona?
My mother had a friend out there that was in the airline industry, so she was going to try to go out there and get a job. So we went out there, and we were there for, I think, 9 months. And all we did was play in the desert. That's all we did.
To
Arizona.
Harrison City, playing with snakes to Arizona.
Yep.
And that's all before what age?
This is before 5th grade, 4th.
Yeah, that's when I met them.
Yeah. Because
They just got back from Arizona, and they were living in Irwin.
Yep.
And me, my Brian, and Selchin had to beat up him.
that makes sense to me. That makes sense to me.
We were walking down on 10th Avenue Extension behind Stop and Go. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And Dunkin' Donuts there. Mm-hmm. And we run into these 3 guys. It was
red-haired freaks.
Billy,
Vince, my
Vince,
cousin, Vince.
your cousin Vince. It was Billy, Vince, and Michael. And they were strangers to the town, and we wanted to welcome them. So somehow,
Gave a shot to the head.
we got in a fist fight with them. I don't know
And then
why.
we become good friends after.
Welcome to Pittsburgh.
But us 3 were fighting those 3
Yeah.
on the side of the road down there. And then we became really, really good friends after that.
Now, is that when, because I think my brother and I and you and your brothers were all on the one basketball team. Weren't we on, like,
We
it's 6th Street?
played, we used to play 6th Street all the time. We used to play 6th Street.
But we were all on the same team, all those brothers. And
You
it
were
had to be
on-
right
weren't
about
you
that
at
time.
Tony's Pharmacy or something? Or was that the name of yours?
It was blue. Remember, it was a light blue. What the heck was it? That's the first time I met you, so it had to be about that exact same time, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
We all played. We used to go up there every day.
That was a nasty team.
Every weekend
we
we
were
would be
more
up
like
there.
fist fighting basketball team.
Oh, it was
I played for Irwin Savings.
You did.
And my coach was, I don't want to say his name, but he was sort of like a hippie dude. And he was, remember he had a lion and stuff that lived in his house. He had an actual lion.
Wow.
Like a real lion.
Irwin.
we had.
Yeah, in his apartment in Irwin.
Holy crap!
I think we had the guy that lived on Oak Street.
He's a good dude.
Yep.
I still see him now every now and then. He's obviously a lot older. He was a young guy too, remember? And he had all of us. It was like he had a bunch of juvenile delinquents on his team.
Yeah, he used to be, his face was red the entire time coaching you guys.
Yeah.
'Cause he was like so mad at you guys because you weren't listening to him.
Literally, we would just push
Because
people
there was
and run them
no,
down.
like the hoop was there and the wall was right there. And
Yeah,
we used to
3
slam
feet.
people into the wall.
Yeah, that was our
Take the
move.
fi-
That was our move.
Take the foul.
If they were too good, we would push
Take
it
the foul.
or try to blow them through the doors. If you could blow them through the doors, that was a big win for you.
Oh, yeah. That was the greatest at 6th Street School.
Oh, it was.
And all we did was shoot.
That's
Yeah.
it. We
That's all
just
you
got
do.
the ball and shoot
Yeah. Yeah. I
and
know.
fight for it.
Yeah. Remember all that?
Moshe was on our team.
Yeah, we had Dave on our team. Yeah.
You sure he wasn't Tony's Pharmacy?
No, I don't know what the
I
name.
think
It was.
that was after.
It was.
'cause
Yeah.
I think Eddie, my youngest brother. I think
Okay.
he played
Yeah.
It became that. Maybe you know how the sponsors change sometimes. So I think after, because I remember Eddie and maybe BK or something being on Tony's Pharmacy.
Yeah, that's when Red Freak started showing us, pigeon toed, tongue out, whipping balls from half court.
Oh yeah,
Like, who's the Red
there's
Freak?
never
He
ever
can't
been a
stop.
bigger gunner in the history history of the world.
If he got across half court, it was in the air.
Yeah, because later during high school and stuff, we played on PAL. Remember me, you, and Billy, and a bunch of us. We were on the orange team. Kenzel, we literally dominated. We won every year.
We used to, and when I lived in Hoboken, New Jersey, Billy lived in Fairfield, Connecticut.
Your brother,
I used
Bill.
to go up and play basketball Tuesdays and Friday mornings before work. I
Yeah.
would drive up in the morning,
Wow.
play basketball at the YMCA up there, and that's all I did was shoot. All I did was shoot.
Well, nothing changed then.
Nothing changed at
Because
all.
literally, Kenzel would bring it up.
Yeah.
He was the, point guard.
He was.
Yeah, because he could really dribble that. Dude.
Yeah, he had good hands.
Yeah, he was really good, and he could bring it up. He'd pass the mic, Mike. I don't even know if the 3-point line was there.
No, I don't think it was.
But I
there.
mean, he's like Caitlin Clark, 30-footer. Making it rain. And it's like clank.
Pigeon-toed.
It's either
tripping over himself.
A swish or a clank.
Yeah.
And then we'd be able to get the offensive rebound all the time because it was just so far out, and we would space ourselves so that we knew that ball was going to come off. It was either going in or going to bounce.
Was he under the hoop ever?
No, God, no.
With his fleet of foot, I can't believe he wasn't running the court like a deer.
He went like top of the key to top of the key.
That was it.
He never had to worry about getting 3 seconds on him or anything. Never done in a block.
We used to befriend all the janitors too that would let us into all these every weekend. Saturday morning, Sunday mornings, they would let us in the door and then play basketball.
Freezing cold outside, and at 6th Street would be there till dark.
We did Shaw. Was it Shaw up there by?
Yeah. Shaw was in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. We'd be there forever.
Then 6th Street, I remember they had those metal doors, and they had a chain in there.
Yeah.
Like that would lock them together, and Chaz was the only one who could fit through the chain.
Right, he'd sneak through them.
He would sneak through there if we couldn't get the janitor's attention by pounding on the door. Sometimes they weren't around or whatever. He'd sneak through there, then go unlock a window, and then we'd climb through the window.
Yep.
And we didn't do anything bad. We just played basketball the whole time.
We just needed a place to play, and our parents were fine because we weren't destroying their houses.
Oh, they know. You were never home.
No. Summertime, we'd be at the Irwin Playground.
Yeah.
We talked about that with my mother this morning. We'd get up, eat breakfast, and then we'd be going all day.
All day.
And then you come home,
Never
when the
came home.
streetlights came on. You'd be down there.
And I lived like 5 miles away from there. My mother would just drop me off.
You were on the rich side of the tracks.
Yeah, I was on
exactly.
the wasn't
There's a difference.
Oh, yeah. East and west.
East and west. The people that don't know where our community is, there was 2 junior high schools. One was called Junior High East, one was called Junior High West. And there was a perception among the kids that anyone that went to East was poor and more tough and rugged.
Right.
And anyone that went to West had wealthier, nicer homes, actually maybe got ground meat once in a while.
Yeah.
I remember or a pork chop.
I remember when I went to West, I felt I didn't have many friends because most of my friends were you ding dongs down on Irwin, right?
Well,
so
you played.
like, wow, that was weird.
You played NCAA sports.
Yeah,
most people that were West played PAL sports.
Yeah, I didn't play that.
Well, you went to 6th Street too.
Yeah, and I went to 6th Street, but I knew you guys from like 5th grade.
6th Street, right?
I have no clue.
No, they did. Everyone from West went to 6th Street.
See, I was comfortable there.
Not everybody from East went to 6th Street. That's the weird thing about it. It's so strange.
Yeah, why did
I don't know, but the people that were in Country Hills and Fairmont, where Tammy grew up, over that way, Country Hills, Fairmont, Hauntown, they all went to 7th grade at East.
Really?
All the other
I think
people,
I remember some.
Oh, absolutely.
I think
Jimmy
I remember
McNally went there. Tammy never went to 6th Street. Missy O'Rourke never went to 6th Street.
Wow.
All those people, I don't know, on that side.
I remember some of that.
They went to 7th grade at East. And then the rest of us went to 6th Street, the Irwin people, and then all the West
Which
people.
they tore down because it had so much asbestos in it. And we played all winter long, jumping on those pipes, right?
Mm-hmm. Don't you remember the powder from that asbestos? Just covering your hair and stuff. Like it'd be all in your hair.
Yeah, because we were playing like
down in the locker room. We would. There was pipes you could hang on and dunk the ball
up
over.
on the stage. Remember?
Oh yeah. They had this stage like they did with all these 1950s and 40s schools. They had the gymnasium was here, and their stage for performances was right on it.
Right. So 3 feet from the freaking.
Just like if you picture that movie Hoosiers when they were playing all them basketball games, that's the kind of gym we were playing in, and they would just shut that big curtain when there was supposed to be playing basketball, but when we were waiting for the games to go on,
remember?
We'd be back there pounding on the piano, and there were wrestling mats back there. Remember that? They're like, get that kid off the piano. Get him off the piano. He's disrupting the game. There'd be Chickenhawk back there he'd be jumping on the keys and stuff. You were like so hyperactive as a kid.
No, I had energy, baby. That's called energy.
It was ridiculous. No one could control him. He was maniac. And we would do other crazy things back there, play hide and seek, and
jeez, all winter, man.
Our life lived like I always say it was between like 3 different things. It was Penguin Ball Field, for baseball, and then Irwin Playground for all our other stuff, and then 6th Street School for all the winter stuff.
See, I wasn't part of the Penguin because we were Shafton. We were Pal.
Yeah, you ended up being Pal. Yeah.
Oh,
So
really?
We did all our baseball school. Everything
Oh, yeah, we didn't do anything
down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why. That was different. I think it was just you came in and got involved with Pal when you moved, but most people from Irwin was NCAA. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I do remember you guys playing for Pal.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pal had a better league. They had more teams and stuff like that, and way more organized, and they had 4 or 5 fields and
They're
stuff.
nice fields down there.
Yeah.
All different sizes.
Yeah, it was fantastic. But you think about those days, it was just one fun time after another.
Never ended, man. Never ended. Parents were there, kind of, right?
You'd go to the playground. You'd start with basketball. Then you play baseball. Then you go tennis. And then you play baseball with the tennis ball. We used to play.
Remember that? How far you can hit it?
Home derby.
Yeah.
Don't forget the creek, too.
The
Because
creek.
when you got bored and it was real hot, we gravitate towards the water.
Oh, yeah.
We used to go to the creek all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, it was crazy good.
Fish down in there.
There was fish in there. They would stock it sometimes. And then, remember the tunnel? We would go up in that tunnel under Route 30, and you could go up on the other side there and catch chubs and stuff like that. Yeah, well, it was deep pool over there. Those are really, really good times. Do you remember when we figured out that we could use the shopping buggies as
Dunking.
those dunking things?
Oh,
yeah. So I don't know, Tart figured it out, Tom Massong, that he was down in Wilkinsburg or something at the time. Remember he went to senior year in Wilkinsburg, and down they played a lot of basketball down there, and he saw kids using those. He would lay the shopping carts on their side, and it's like a ramp almost,
Right.
And that metal was sort of like spaced,
Gave you a
where it
little
kind of like give you a little bounce, gave you like a little lift. So that's what we would do. We would lay a shopping cart down somewhere maybe 3 feet from the basket, and we'd lay it there on this side and lay it down on the other side. We'd play full court basketball with the shopping cart in play.
Right.
So you could dunk, alley hoop it.
I mean, they were like, we're hitting this thing at full speed in the middle of the game. There's like little 6 people underneath you. You're elevated, literally. Your head's as high as the square. Yeah, you're like, boom. People were getting hurt left and right. It was pure carnage, but it was fun.
Who was the officer? Was it Mr. I can't remember, but they would always cruise by.
I remember
once or
every
twice
police
a day,
officer
just to
down
make-
there.
Just
I
to make
can
sure we
remember-
weren't dead.
I remember who they were.
Anthony.
We had Bo Anthony. We had Mr. Good.
Yep.
I forget his first
Yeah, we
name.
just
Dawn.
remember them
His name was
cruising
Dawn
by.
Good.
They'd cruise by real slow, make sure nobody was
Yeah.
dead on the
And
corridor.
then we had Slinky. Do you remember Slinky? Yeah. He was the tall, skinny one. He
Yep.
looked like
And
Barney.
remember when we
And Servi.
drank water?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Out of that spigot behind.
That was McKeever's.
It was a
Yep.
it was a water. That was like a main line to fill a truck up.
Yep.
Yeah, that was McKeever's
Right.
water.
With jacket on and the water would come flying up.
Yeah, what we used to do is people that didn't know
Yeah.
how that water came out. You know,
Up and let them do it.
yeah, we would
turn it on,
we would turn
pour
the
it
spigot
backwards.
on. Yeah, like the water. You could pull this lever, and the water would just trickle out. So the kids would get their hands down like this, and they'd start sipping it. And this hose was this big around.
Yeah, it was
like that.
4-inch, 5-inch hose.
So we wait till they got settled in there, and they were getting that water, and then we'd full blast the thing and like 15 feet backwards. And they would start rolling down the concrete.
them
They're
let-
like,
imagine
"What
them
the hell happened?"
letting kids do that today. They don't. It's it's not there anymore. So
Drinking
No.
out of a hose today.
No, but that's how we
They
got
won't
our.
drink out of a faucet at home in the kitchen.
But that's how we got that water. And I never understood why them trucks were filling up all that water all the time. What the hell are they doing?
cisterns.
They were filling up cisterns.
Yeah, people didn't have city water then in a lot of places. So they were filling up cisterns and then going and filling up.
Or
their
if wells
cistern.
maybe went dry or something, huh?
Or if there was, but most of them are cisterns. A lot of the houses, like the house I grew
Yeah.
up in, that back porch was a cistern.
Yeah.
You never knew it. We didn't use it because city water came, but
Yeah, we had, when I bought our first house, when I was digging around the landscaping, I found a giant cistern.
Right.
It was really huge. I
Right.
couldn't believe how big that was.
right, and they delivered water. Yeah,
Yeah.
And then we used to fish. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
Barnes Lake. It's
Yeah.
dried up now, isn't it?
yeah. Is it? I don't. Even
I don't know. I don't know about that. I
Adams
should.
Pond.
Adams Pond was,
That was
Yep.
snuck up through the woods. You went through the pines behind Barnes Lake and walked up into there. Yeah. Mike actually, he used to have phases. You know, like he went through like I don't know what it was, but just different things that no one else was doing.
The weightlifting.
The weightlifting phase. He had a trapping phase.
I would get up in the morning. Before school, and I would set traps. I would go check my trap line.
From Irwin.
From Irwin, I would get up, walk all the way up
I
to
think I
Barnes
remember
Lake.
this.
Adams Pond.
Adams.
That's
Pond,
why I remember
Hills,
this.
Where Hills is
You'd
now.
walk over there?
Before, and then get
Like
back.
5 in the morning. He
and
used
then
to
get
catch
back.
It's like
and
5
get
miles.
dressed before, and then go to school.
Trying to make an extra buck.
That's it.
these. Yeah, he was always had some. He had a bankroll, man, because he would catch these muskrats and raccoons.
He had a bag.
Big bankroll.
Yeah.
Big bankroll.
$7.
He's
That's it.
well.
But it was a bankroll.
When
for
you
us.
stood around and said, "Okay, who's got what?"
Yeah.
He usually had more than the rest of us
Right.
because
He was
getting up at 5 in the morning and catching muskrats and skinning them and selling them for about
Yeah.
$10.
Yeah.
You got like $10 for them.
Kid still works hard now.
They do.
Yeah, but it was
to.
crazy. And then he had this thing where he had this weightlifting kick. He was going to become Arnold or Franco Colombo or whatever.
Oh,
Arnold.
Franco Colombo. Remember him?
Yeah, or there was another one that came to Junior High East, and I think
Oh, really?
at the assembly.
Frank Zane.
Frank Zane,
Frank
yeah.
Zane.
Frank Zane.
And he wanted to. After Frank Zane hit
Oh.
down, all of a sudden Mike's got those plastic weights. You
Oh,
know,
yeah,
the kind-
with the cement in them.
In the bedroom, in my bedroom. I might even have pictures of me posing.
Yeah.
Oh,
he
really?
thought, dude, you know, I hate to say it, but red hair Irish people
Yeah.
and people like Flemings, they don't get a whole lot of definition.
No, yeah, they don't look like Frank Zane. You don't
They
look
don't,
anything.
they don't have that genetic. When you're from Wales or whatever,
Yeah, right.
chances of you getting like,
You're built like a potato. That's why they gave you
That's it.
potatoes.
yeah. But he worked so hard at it. I mean, he was down there lifting every day. I'm sure he got in much better
Yeah.
condition, but I mean, and then he had these. You know how back in the day, no one had anything, so you just cut out a picture of him in a magazine. You know,
Right.
like you bought Muscle Fitness or something.
Oh, yeah.
And he'd take a picture of the
Muscle
and
fitness.
he had them
Wow.
taped to his wall for inspiration. Like,
Right.
You know.
Oh, yeah.
I think and Tom Platz was another one that you were into. Do you remember who he was?
Frank Zane.
Zane was the one.
Yeah, he was the big one because he came to junior high school and did an assembly.
Gave you an image, huh?
Yep, that was it. A short period of time.
All right, the last thing I want to talk about on the playground before we move on. Do you remember them Polish cannon things?
Yes.
Yes.
With the cans and then
Yeah.
later.
Yeah, we need to talk about that a little bit. Did we ever talk about this?
I don't think so.
What the hell were we doing with those things?
I don't know what we were doing. Remember the
Tennis
bows,
balls in it.
bow and
Or
arrows
you put
straight up in the air.
potatoes into
Yeah.
it, and
Yeah.
you,
No, it was tennis balls, yeah.
but you could
Put potatoes, yeah.
into it.
Yeah, you could, yeah.
But we weren't putting food in there. No way.
Let me tell you, without saying names, when I worked up in New York, I was the company that I worked for. Come to the store one day and they're like, "Oh, you got to come back out and see this." So I go out and back and they had one,
Yeah.
and they were shooting it
Yeah.
potatoes into the trucks in the back.
Oh, my God, like through the wall.
And this
18
was 20 some years later,
Yeah.
and they were still setting it up. But yeah,
But we were young kids, and I just remember
How did we get it?
what happened is you took a Coke can or
you
Right.
cut it out.
you cut the bottom out,
Right.
cut the top out. So it just becomes
And you tape them
like
together.
a cylinder,
Yep.
and you tape all the joints together. So now you got like a 3 or 4 foot cylinder, right? And then the bottom can, you left the bottom of it in there.
Right.
And you put a little pinhole in there. And you stuffed a tennis ball down in there. And then you would shoot all this
Butane.
lighter
Lighter
fluid.
fluid
Yeah.
in it, and then you would light it.
With a match.
Yeah.
And someone would hold it, and it'd go, whoosh. And that thing, I'm telling you, it would shoot 200 yards in the air.
Oh, yeah.
Now, if you shot it like at an angle, but if you shot it at someone, maybe it would go 50 yards or something.
Right.
But that's what we would do. We would have fights with those things and try to shoot each other with them.
We used to shoot each other with BB guns too.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
Oh,
we would do
yes,
BB
yes.
guns,
Oh, yeah.
and then when we lived on Walnut Street, we had that upstairs in the attic. Remember the room up in the attic?
Yes,
there?
yeah.
We had boxing gloves, and we would boxing matches
Oh,
there.
I was
Oh, yeah.
undefeated. Thank you very
And it
much.
Knocking each other out.
And it was a wood floor, and then we'd have darts, and then you'd sit there and you would bare feet, and you'd sit there and say who would get closest, and then you would throw the dart at each other's feet
It's our feet.
and see who would move.
Yeah.
Play chicken, and I would always like my brothers. I'd sit there and say, "Choop." I hit them. I'd say, I lost.
You just nail them. Just
Oh,
nail
yeah.
them.
And they wouldn't catch on.
They
just
wouldn't.
thought you had bad aim.
No, they wouldn't catch on.
Yeah.
Mike was ahead of his time when it came to stuff like that. He was always had a little licks angle on things, you know?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The licks I got from the Irwin Playground.
Yeah.
How did that? I don't remember how that name came about.
Levi Frick. Remember
Yeah.
Levi Frick?
Oh, yeah. I still.
When we used to play basketball.
I communicate with him on Facebook, Levi. Yeah, he's a good dude, man.
And I was down there playing basketball, and I used to stick my tongue out. And he used to say, "You're licking the ball before you would," and that's how I got it.
Yeah,
Really?
Now, you talk to some other people,
Yeah,
and they come up with some
other
versions
names. Like
of it.
Milne had a different version. That's the only version I remember. But I don't want to bring that up.
No, I don't. I'd be at college. We'd be at college, and Milne would come up, and he's like, "Do you know how he got his name licks?" And then he would go in front of all of them.
Say stupid stuff.
Yeah, it involved
we
cat
didn't
litter or cat morsels of cat food or
It
something.
was funny in college. They had no clue about the Irwin boys and what they were just
They envied us. Like when we were freshman year, they envied us because we would have our friends come up.
Oh, yeah.
And they would be like, "Wow, you guys are together." And even now, when I travel, like I go to Florida or I go all these different places, there's people that we know, and I'm like, "Hey, let's get lunch."
Yeah.
It's like my wife's like, "How do you know all these people?" It's like because wherever we go,
It's a great
stayed in
Pittsburgh,
touch.
Pittsburgh, not migration. What would you call it?
Yeah, I would
Everybody
just say
just
that everyone
split.
split, but we all stayed tight because we spent every day together for 10 years.
we used to go golf on golf trips every
Yeah.
year.
Everything.
We'd go to Gainesville.
Yeah.
We were lucky
my.
to grow up in the time we did. We really were lucky. You think about it, we fell in between like Vietnam, and we fell between like the 91 was whenever we went into Gulf War. We had all that time to just be kids.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of it too is our parents weren't so strict about pulling us, keeping a fence around us. So we became like blood brothers more than anything, right? It was, there was none of that. What do you call it? Coddling. You know what I mean? So you don't go over there.
Just a different
They
time.
just let us
Everyone
go, man.
I don't think they knew anything that we were doing.
But think,
Oh, I think my dad probably had.
Your dad might have knew,
Yeah.
but my mom and
Daddy knew
dad,
everything.
Fast Daddy knew everything.
my mom and dad had no idea what I was up to.
Because we used to sit on the wall, and for fun, you'd hitchhike up the hills,
Right.
up the
and whoever could get a ride the first,
Up and back
won.
So you
Remember
two
that?
little kids up there.
I remember hitchhiking from Irwin back to my house on Route 30. People are like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah." How
I
old were
remember
you? 13.
This really pretty lady picked me up one time. No, nothing happened. But I think she felt sorry for me because, but I was like 12 or something.
She saw that skinny kid with the big head. And said, "I better
giant
pick
head
him up."
and like giant teeth. Remember I had the big giant buck teeth and
yeah,
stuff?
you did.
So she picked me up and she said, "What are you guys doing?" I said, "Oh, we got this game. We hitchhike up to the spot. We hitchhike back. Whoever gets there first wins."
Right.
She goes, "Well, did you ever think about having the person just drive you back down here and drop you off?" So that's what she did. She took me round trip.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Oh, there you
up
go.
there and back. So I did it like
Is
lickety
it something
split.
you can remember? Something like that?
Oh, yeah, I remember because I was like, wow, why didn't I think of this quicker? I'm a moron.
I can't believe
I could
Licks
just
didn't
ask the
think of-
person to give me a ride back down.
I can't believe Licks didn't think of that the first minute.
And then we expanded from there. It would be to Green Gate Mall.
yeah.
Yeah.
We'd go to Green Gate.
Yeah.
It's no longer there, right?
Oh, yeah. We just did crazy stuff. We just play around with them trains down at Shafton,
Oh,
too.
yeah. And nobody.
Throw rocks at the trains, and or sometimes we jump in a train car and ride it up for a mile or two and then jump out the door.
We used to do that at our hunting camp. My grandfather had a hunting camp.
Did he?
And then you'd go into Penfield. It was like 1.5 miles, 2 miles.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd go down, the coal trains would come. They'd go slow. You'd jump onto the trains, and you would drive it into Penfield. You jump off. You go to the store.
Yeah.
And then the next train came back. You go
Jump
back
on
on.
it.
And then our parents found out, and you got beat.
Oh, yeah. I remember the beatings
yeah.
when they find out. Speaking of trains, I remember your dad telling a story that he used to follow the train, the coal trains,
Right.
after they'd go through and pick up any coal that fell off.
He was the youngest one.
So they could use it
He
for
would
their
get
furnace.
on and start shoveling the coal between his legs as fast as he could, and his brothers would trail him and fill up the coal buckets so they had coal for the house.
for their house, yeah. Crazy.
Yeah.
Next time on Fried Jumbo.
I was the only idiot alive that fell for the thing that the kid told you in school to do. Did you remember any of that?
No.
There was jerks that were older than you
Oh, sure. They picked on
that
you
said
for
that
sure.
if you took a pencil eraser and you took it, you could erase her bikini.